live.
Oh, no.
We live. You know, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Hey.
Talk that talk.
Talk it.
Y'all know what's up, man. Talk that talk.
We here.
It's Saturday. Talk that talk.
It's live.
Tell them what we do, man. We keep it real.
On Talk That Talk.
We tell the truth.
Hey, on Talk That Talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, Talk That Talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, Talk That Talk.
That's what we do.
Hey, Talk That Talk.
That is what we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
We are here.
Yes, sir.
We're here again.
Yeah, man.
We're here.
We're back in the studio.
Talk That Talk Nation. Happy Saturday.
We're back in the studio.
Happy Saturday.
We're back in the
Y'all
studio.
know the vibes. If this is your first time, man, joining Talk That Talk Nation, I go by the name of Bacon. I want to welcome you to another edition of Talk That Talk podcast. And I got my brother, my co-host, my producer of the year, partner in crime in the building.
Yes, sir. It's your boy, Mr. Too Many Reasons himself.
Yes.
But we didn't come along this day.
No, we didn't.
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing some.
Man, he trying to figure that thing out, fam.
Yeah, no, we good, man.
He's getting his technology skills on up
This
to date.
is crazy. My technology skills is always good.
But we got a brother in the building.
I got you.
We bringing brothers over here,
Yeah,
man.
man. That's what you know. We like to spread the love.
Yeah, we spread the love.
So we got my guy,
Tell him.
Northern California native,
Tell him.
a part of the De La Salle crazy winning streak.
Tell him.
Former Fresno State DB.
Tell
One of
him.
the dopest coaches in the Valley. Current head coach of Kerman High School.
Come
And
on.
even a dope father, my guy Dave Jenkins in the building.
Hey.
I've been working on that. That was an all weekend show.
Man, listen, I appreciate it.
That was an all weekend show.
Appreciate it, man.
You feel me?
Oh, man. Good to have you, man. How you been, bro?
Man, thank y'all for having me up there, man. It's been a long, man. Me and him been trying to get this together for a minute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. But you know how life go, man. Sometimes it go left, right, go in the middle and all that good stuff. But it works out how it's supposed to work out, man. But we happy to have you on the show today. We got a lot of great topics to talk about, not a lot of time, and then we got to dive into our brother's story because we got some good stuff for y'all, man. But starting with the topic, number one, Aaron Donald.
AD.
Not the AD that played for the Lakers.
The other AD.
The real AD. The real AD.
See, I don't like how this is going already. Maybe I can refigure our guests.
Aaron Donald announces his retirement yesterday, right? He went live yesterday and said, I'm done. I'm all the years. Thank you to everybody. But this is it for me, man. First, let's talk about Aaron Donald announcing his retirement. What does that mean for the Rams and the NFL itself? Who's going to take the throne of the next defensive player of the year? Who's going to be that guy? And then is this really it for him? Like, is that going to be the end of all ends? Because, you know, Tom Brady did this before. And then
Brett Favre done it.
Yeah.
Expensive dudes.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
done.
It's hard to live that regular life.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
living proof. I can't let it go.
Yeah, we was just talking about that. Boy, my body can't take no more.
It's hard to just walk away.
I'm living proof. I feel you, dog. 6-time champion over here, man. But who wants to start with Aaron Donald retirement?
Yeah, man, it's an interesting situation, man, for him to walk away. Overall, you know, he's had a hell of a career. There's, like we were talking about, there's no more boxes to be checked off in his career. Being all pros, Pro Bowls, Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl winner, just an interior force that is crazy. People were posting pictures yesterday. It was like, "Hey, Dad, how good was Aaron Donald?" And it's just a hell of pictures of him being triple team. And you got to think about that. Like, there's 5 linemen, and 3 of them are focused on one dude. That's crazy work.
That's beast mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, just he came in the league, and the crazy thing, he was underrated.
Yeah.
You feel me? You know, being a top 10 draft pick, you'd be like, how's the top 10 draft? No, he was 14. So being in where he fell, it was like Aaron Donald, and he was he's an undersized D lineman, but with crazy work ethic, man. And so it's gonna be interesting for the Rams. They got a young dude who balled out last year. Can't think of his name right now, but that's kind of like their understudy. He's a young D tackle that came in last year and did work. So it's gonna be a huge hole to fill, but they got a young guy right there ready to go.
What about you, D? How you feel?
Man, I was surprised. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised because, like we talked about earlier, he's been flirting with the word retirement for a minute.
Yeah.
But I think the grind is what actually probably got to him, because he's a hard worker, right? He puts it on the line every single day, all off season. You've seen the videos, him just working out. Aaron Donald strikes me as the type of guy that he's not going to ask for those vet days. Like, hey, I need 10 vet days, and if I come back, I think he's the guy that's like, hey, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be all in, giving him all. So for him, I think this was one of those things to where he's like, you know what, I'd rather step aside. Like you said, all the boxes have been checked. But I can also, too, like I said, I see him possibly coming back later on in the year if they are in playoff contention and he really can come in there and make an impact. I can see him rolling off the couch and being like, yo, I'll come play for y'all for 4 games.
Yeah.
Win the Super Bowl, then go right back in the retirement.
Because remember, Eric Weddle did that when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You feel me? Brought him back, I think, like week 16 or 17, like that.
And he came back and he started and he contributed.
That's crazy. Come back to
right,
start.
Right, exactly. And he went right back to retirement, got his little ring.
Got his little check.
OD.
That's
The fact that my dog took a break, came back, and started. Hey man, thanks for holding my spot, dog.
Exactly. But hey, that's the business in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
Like they value vets, they value, the knowledge of the game, right? And that's one thing about Aaron Donald is when you saw a lot of people post like, man, thank God he's retiring because he knows the game, right?
Facts.
He gets after it all the time, man. And quarterbacks are, they're like, yeah, I ain't got to run from this dude no more.
We got to prepare for him, man.
Right, 100%, man. At the end of the day, man, you got to do what you got to do. I feel like after a while, when you already won a Super Bowl, you've won 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, you got all these accolades and stuff like that. What are you playing for at the end of the day? I know for the NFL, for quarterbacks, it seems like more rings matter. But for certain players, I think they want to win more. But once you get one, I feel like that hunger will always still be there if you're a competitor. But that one, you're like, man. Because I remember when they won it, he was thinking about retiring then. He was like, and they was like, what you mean? You just won the Super Bowl. You got to run that back. And he was like, I don't know. I think that was the moment where he started to realize, well, maybe I want to do something else.
And usually, when you start thinking about it, you listen to a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
The minute you start thinking about it, that means it's going to be that time. Because when it's not in your brain or crossing that path, you usually be okay. But you listen to a lot of athletes, and you just over the years I've listened, and they like the minute it starts to creep in.
Yeah,
it's about to be that time.
And then for him too, I mean, he's in the trenches. So
yeah,
it's not like he contact every single play. You know what I mean? Like you said, he's demanding triple teams. Man. Right. So it's not like he's okay D lineman.
Yeah. Nah.
It's not like he's getting.
He's a 3-down D lineman. He's on the field.
It's not like this play they're gonna let him go 1-on-1 with somebody. Nah, he's constantly getting double.
Facts.
And then like my boy said when he got on his show, he was like, when it's your, like you said, when it's time, it's time.
It's time.
Right. When you know. Right? And so for him, I think he sat home, him and his wife and kids, and he was like, you know what, it's time for me to ride out into the sunset. And
man.
So
must be nice. That's big house.
Yeah.
He always has that opportunity to come back.
Yeah, he does. 100%. So where does this lead the Rams? Or will they still be one of those top teams in the NFC West, or it's probably like the start of potentially a down season?
For them, it's going to be interesting because you lose Aaron. Well, first off, you lose your head coach. I mean, your defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. He goes to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Then now you lose your anchor on defense.
Right.
So it's just going to look different.
Okay.
Sean McVay and Stafford going to have to, pick that up a little bit. Like that defense. There's a lot of questions right now because we don't know how that DC is going to gel, how they going to fill the full void of Aaron Donald. So it's going to look interesting. I mean, but McVay is always, you can't really count McVay out. You got a vet like Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp are animals. They found the gym and Kyron Williams at running back. So, it's going to be interesting out there out west. It's going to be interesting out west.
And I think, like you said, with McVay being the guy running the ship, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Even with the, how they did last year, they were always supposed to be in the rebuilding year, but he always finds a way to make sure that they end up picking it up at the end of the season.
They did.
Right? So
playoff run.
Exactly. So I think, yes, losing DC's going to hurt. Yes, losing the D tackle is going to hurt, but I think with him being the head, running the ship, I think he's going to learn, or I think he already knows what he has in mind and what he wants to do and how he's going to make sure that defense gels. So, because like you said, the offense is there, right? Like the offense is there. So, with the guys that they got coming in and the guys that are there, I think they'll be fine.
No, that's real. That's real. But shout out to my man Donald, man, for announcing his retirement, man. That's a big deal, man. He deserves it. But moving on to some crazy free agency,
crazy week,
and trades, man. We have the Derrick Henry joining the Ravens. We have your boy, Josh Jacobs, gone.
JJ.
Gone to the Packers. We got my damn team signing probably the worst signing ever, in my opinion.
Wow.
I don't
signing
agree.
ever?
Man, you get this man $100 million, $180 million after an Achilles tear is crazy.
Yeah, especially when you wasn't willing to give Lamar Jackson $200 million.
That's crazy.
That's even more crazy.
That's even more crazier. But a lot of free agent moves, man. Keenan Allen, a Bear now.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on. Russell Wilson is the new starting quarterback.
He's the only quarterback on the Steelers currently.
I think they picked somebody. I think I thought I saw it. Hey, but I like that though. I like Russell. I like Russell to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I like that.
So what is, out of all the big craziness going on, what's one of the biggest ones that shock you?
Shocking? I wouldn't say shocking. I think Saquon to the Eagles is going to be massive. I think you put him in that offense. They got Kellen Moore over there now. Kellen Moore is a hell of an offensive coordinator. He gets a bad rap at times for some reason, but he's a hell of an offensive coordinator. And so I think that's going to rejuvenate Jalen Hurts. Now, that read option, because we talked about the read option with Lamar and Derek. You get the read option with Jalen and Saquon is almost just as potent.
Yeah.
And you got AJ, and you got Dallas Goedert, and you got Devon Smith. So it's like that offense is going to be potent. They also added Devin White in the middle. They brought back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at safety. So they understood that they had to get that defense right. And so you add them two dudes. You hoping Jordan Davis and the other big fella from Georgia get right and you become more anchors that they drafted them for. And so I think the Eagles is going to be right back where they need to be. So I would say the Eagles the Eagles to be is the team that was shocking, no, but they made the moves to put themselves where they need to be.
Okay, what about you, Dame? How you feel?
I say on paper, I think the Eagles, but one thing about Saquon, he got to stay healthy.
He do.
That's the biggest thing for him is staying healthy. But like I said, I like the Russell. I think pairing him and Tomlin together is dangerous because, when you look at it, Tomlin's dealt with all type of personalities. Every personality you think of, he's dealt with, right? Every personality. And I think he's going to be able to let Russell do his thing, but also let Russell, have the respect to say, hey, man, I don't need you to do this. I need you to do this, right? I think he's going to be willing to work with Russell. I think, Russell had a bad rap the last 2 years, right? Your first head coach was defensive minded, and then you got Sean Payne coming in, who came in to prove a point. I'm that big dog. Hell, he went on, was talking bad about
the coach that left.
The coach that left. But for you to be out of coaching, you come in, it's different when you come in and say, you know what, I would have done things differently, right? Because one thing that I've learned as a head coach is that you don't know people's situations. So on paper or when you may watch film, it's all right, that's stupid. Why would you do that? But you don't know what actually took place. You don't know if it was an actual player issue, right? Well, that player just didn't understand or whatever the case may be, right? Or the player just, you know what, I'm not even going to do the scheme. I'm going to do my own thing, right? So, but for him to go in there and did that, I think that right there set the tempo for what was to come in that, with the Broncos last year. I think the big one is what we talked about, the Ravens.
Yeah.
Having both those dudes back there, Lamar Jackson and Derrick
That's
Henry.
a problem.
Derrick Henry, later in the season when this playoff time just
It's
running
cold.
downhill. Yeah,
It's
like
cold.
you
You know how
not.
it get cold. But that, like I said, this that AFC North. That AFC North is about to be a bloodbath.
It's about to be crazy.
It's about to be crazy. Because like Cleveland, they went and added Jerry Jeudy to that offense to go to pair him with Amari Cooper and Njoku and Chubb coming back
Now
with
they just
Deshaun
quarterback.
Watson.
I mean, if he, who knows what Deshaun Watson gonna do?
I mean, Mr. Massage himself.
You said it. I wasn't gonna bring that up.
I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
Mr. Massage man himself. Masseuse. Oh man.
So like I just said, the AFC North is gonna be wild.
Facts.
I mean, we don't know how this situation with T. Higgins and the Bengals gonna turn out because I know he requested a trade, but just that team, just those teams out there, man.
Right.
Joe Burrow, you got Russ now, Lamar,
Yeah.
Deshaun. That division's already competitive, and when those
100%.
teams play, it is physical. So you add Derrick Henry. Pittsburgh also added Patrick Queen in the middle linebacker.
Yeah.
So it's just it's gonna be crazy out there.
It's gonna be definitely interesting, man. I think for me, the biggest one that shocked me was the Keenan Allen trade, man, because
That just happened with
he just
Thursday.
Yeah, well, yesterday actually. I think it was yesterday.
No, Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Oh, okay. But so he just restructured his contract for the team. And the reason why he got traded, or allegedly, is that they wanted him to restructure his contract again. And he like, this is my last year. Like, dog, I just restructured that thing last year. And he was like, no, I'm out. Like, and they was like, bet, we get you out of here then. And they got him for a 4th round pick, which was like that's disrespectful, by the way, San Diego or Los Angeles.
LA.
That's the LA treatment right now. They Hollywood. They went Hollywood. Harbaugh said, all right, bet, we're going to get you out of there. But I wonder what's going to happen with the Bears, because they've been talking about they want to get a quarterback, but they haven't traded Justin Fields. No. And they've been giving him more weapons and getting him some more assets. So it's like, what are they going to really do? Are they going to buy into Fields, or are they going to wait? That's the big one for me, because now you got another top receiver on your squad, and you probably could be like, let's see what he can do with Keenan Allen. He got a number 1, and he got some other dogs on there that also
DJ Moore.
Exactly.
DJ
And so
Moore.
I'm more really eyed on the Chicago Bears right now for this offseason, because I want to know, are they going to get rid of Fields and get, Caleb? Because I know they still thinking about, they still got question marks on his health, because he didn't play, he didn't go and throw at the combine. He said, no, I'm cool, but he got his pro day coming up next week. And so he said that he was disclosed his injuries or his health report to the people that he's interested in. And so I'm wondering, is he going to go to the Bears, or are they going to keep Fields and then they're just going to build around Fields?
This is just a lot. This is the Bears organization just be wild. You go ahead, Dave.
I honestly think they're just going to build around him.
Yeah.
I get it. Caleb Williams is the big talk right now, but I think they're going to end up building around, because you don't trade for Keenan Allen to pair him with a rookie. Right. And I'm sure he had some say as to where he wanted to get traded. I'm sure when that came up, I'm sure they were like, hey, these are your options. And I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen's first thing said was, what are they going to do with Fields? Right? Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's been in the league for a minute, so why would he want to go get traded to go play for a rookie?
Facts.
Right? Like, if anything, he probably would have wanted to get sent to a Super Bowl contender or something, But I think they keep Fields. I think he's still young. Again, what's his supporting cast? And I don't mean the players, I mean the coaching. Right. It comes down to, are the coachings nurturing him and they're teaching him the way he needs to be taught?
Right.
Look at all the great quarterbacks, right? They've had great supporting cast in the sense of their coaches, right? Like, they've had great structure.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, talk about him real quick.
Yeah.
He, Sean Payton came in. Right. Russell Wilson's been around the league for a minute,
and
right?
he didn't even have a bad year last year. If we really look at it statistically,
exactly. But Sean Payton came out and made us and said, "I don't need you kissing babies." All right, you say that to him behind closed doors. You don't say that in public, right?
That's crazy.
You scold him in public, like, And yet, like how they treated him, Russ, right? And then it's like, okay, you see the importance of a head coach. You see your head coach can make or break the personality of your quarterback,
100%.
right? Now, Justin Fields, same situation, right?
Yep.
He's had a lot of turnover,
Yep.
right? And I think they take that in consideration. Because again, like if Justin Fields comes out and he doesn't do a good year, you still can go get Deion Sanders if you really want to, right? You still got quarterbacks coming, out in the next couple of years that are just as good as, in my opinion, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you keep Justin Fields. I think you see how he does this year, and then worst case scenario, you get rid of him if you put him in a better situation,
right,
with better weapons, with more vets that are going to help him and say, hey, listen, this is how you get your mind right. Don't listen to this, man. Listen to that. And I think you'll see the difference between him with him. So
it's interesting because it's like the Chicago for the second year in a row trade their first pick.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting. Because if you're not taking Caleb at 1, what are you going to take at 1? You just went and traded for Keenan Allen, so I really don't see you taking Marvin Harrison Jr. I really don't see you, taking another lineman. So if you're going to trade out of 1, that means you probably trade even further back. Probably,
because they got 1 in 7, I think.
1 in 9.
1 in 9. I know they got
so
top, top 10.
you can trade further back and get things. So I'm leaning towards they're going to take Caleb, and I just think that they are hurting themselves by waiting so long to try to get rid of Fields, because I don't see a world where you bring in Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. I feel like that'd be, as someone said this week on Get Up, organization malpractice, just to have both of them on the roster for stupid reasons. So
right.
I think they take Caleb, even when you parent. I think it's a good thing to have a Keenan Allen with a rookie quarterback, because that gives you a safety net. You got a Keenan Allen that for sure is a 100-catch kind of guy that's gonna be around. Then you got your deep threat and DJ Moore that can take the top off the defense. You got
right.
Cole Kmet at tight end. You got they just added DeAndre Swift as a running back to pair him with Herbert. I think it's Khalil Herbert. Yeah. So
it's gonna be nice.
You're putting in a solid infrastructure for a rookie quarterback to have nice veteran weapons around him. And then if you go the Dame route and you keep Justin Fields, this would be his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 consecutive years.
Right. So
at least with Caleb, this would be his first offensive coordinator.
Okay.
You feel me?
You got that, yeah.
And so like now it's like a refresher type situation.
Yeah.
And you just allow Justin Fields, man, to go do his thing somewhere else. Like, just feel like you're hurting your trade value. I think you should have probably got it over with, because everybody knows you got the first pick. So you really don't have no leverage. Yeah. Because it's like you're either gonna keep or you're gonna trade him. So we don't have to take your little.
But can you think about this though? What if they're waiting to see if Caleb is going to be actually healthy? Because nobody know what he's dealing with. They don't know the injury. So if
I honestly don't even think that he's hurt. I just think that what's hurting Caleb to me is this Hollywood feel that he's doing. Right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I feel like he's just going so Hollywood because he just feels like he's
he was at
untouchable.
USC, man. That's the town of actors.
But I'm just saying. But it's like, he's just going about things like the wrong way right now, and you're setting yourself up to where, like, you know how the NFL, you know how people are. They're gonna be like, oh, so this is how you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so your welcome to NFL moments is gonna come a lot sooner than you wanted to, because people just don't like how people carry themselves at times. Like, there's one way to have some swag about yourself, right? There's confidence about yourself, but sometimes you rub people the wrong way. Like, you show up to the combine, you don't throw, you don't do no medical history, you don't test. Yeah, you just show up like, I'm the number 1 pick. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Basically, that's his vibes.
No, I see that. Yeah. I think you're right as far as him coming off kind of arrogant. He made the statement, only one team can take me, so I'm not finna go ahead and
yeah, that's real.
Like, that's a crazy statement.
It's a true statement.
It's true, but
it's just the way he's saying it.
Yeah.
But I also think too, though, he should have did the medical record, though. I think you get that out of the way, so then everyone knows. Because like you said, if you get that out the way now, then you're showing that you don't have anything to hide on that standpoint.
Facts.
But I think everything else he came off as kind of arrogant, in that and for rookies, man, you have to come in there humble, right?
Yeah.
It's a grown ass men in that locker room.
And that's the thing, though, right? Like, if you come in there, I'm the number one draft pick, you instantly lose the room, right? But you don't go in there with not confident, but you also don't go in there acting like you're that dude already.
And you ain't never thrown the ball in the
NFL, right? It's a different ball game. Things are just different, right?
Because you've been in those locker rooms.
Yeah, I mean, but for me, when I was in a locker room, that's one thing. When I can honestly say when I did, that's one thing the vets loved about me is I was respectful, right? I wasn't on some I'm all world, any of that, right? Like they actually do stuff, you do it, right? Like, and that was the cool part about it. Like that was one of the reasons why like Willie McGinnis really messed with me when I was there. Like I was always humble, right? Like they asked me to do something, wasn't like, oh man, I ain't doing this. All right, cool. Like, hey Damon, we need you to go get some food for us. Okay, cool. Who car am I taking? Yeah, like that was what would be my response to him, right? It wasn't on some, but they also knew I wasn't finna pay for it, so they gave me money and all this other stuff. But 100%. It wasn't on some. Oh, I'm not doing that. Okay, cool. Like y'all about to send me to go get some food. Like I'm using somebody else's car in y'all money. Exactly. Like that's. But most of the time though, if you go in there with that, I'm that guy, and y'all bow down to me, you instantly lose the locker room, or people just don't mess with you on that level.
100%.
And again, like you said, if Chicago does draft him, right? That's what those guys are going in there thinking is, oh, this kid is arrogant. That may not even be the case. Like he may be a wonderful kid,
hella cool.
Exactly. But the initial thing
perception could be perception.
Exactly. The perception is this dude is arrogant. Well, at the end of the day, like those vets that are coming in there, like, man, we ain't got time for your arrogance. 100%. Right? We got to get this thing turned around.
We trying to win.
Right? Like
now.
And so, but to go back to your point, like I can understand like them wanting to pair Keenan Allen with him. Right, but it's just one of those things that his attitude or his demeanor could cause some problems within the organization.
No, real talk.
Versus Fields has been in there 3 years, right? He's gone through the cycle and he kind of already knows how to operate as a pro.
Yep.
Where Keenan doesn't have to go ahead and teach him how to operate. He can teach him all the other important things about how to be a vet within his third year of the system. So I think, but at the end of the day, all eyes are in Chicago, though. For sure.
Everybody's
everybody in the city.
In Chicago, man.
But I just want to give a shout out to my team. Add my boy big time Christian Wilkins in the middle. You feel me? If you didn't get Chris Wilkinson.
Yeah, Chris Jones
was a major pickup for us, man. To pair him with Max Crosby is gonna be nice on our D line.
No, it's gonna be dope. I'm just disappointed in what we did as far as like paying $180 million for a dude that's coming off an Achilles tear. Like, and they didn't even have a crazy year last year. And to get this man, bro, I don't even want to talk about my team today. They on no talk about day right now.
The thing is,
because that's OD.
Kirk Cousins is like my spirit animal. That man has fleeced the NFL for money. Bruh. He is currently the highest gross earning player in NFL. Second.
Ain't won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the man has made close to over $331 million in the league.
One playoff game?
And one playoff game. That's crazy. My favorite
part about that is he said, I ain't finna apologize for all the money I made.
Bruh, hey, then the fact that he come and didn't take my number, dog. I said, hey, they come up off that number, man. Hey. Like, how you gonna take my number, dog? You ain't did nothing. Like, he said, hey, man, I asked him how much you want for it. I'm like, first of all, if I'm Kyle Pitts, I'm like, first of all, bruh, like, you ain't taking my number, dog. Like, until you show me that you like that.
What he switch it to?
I don't know what he switched it to, man. When I found out they paid my dog,
I didn't know about that.
I found out they paid my dog $180 million, I didn't want to hear nothing about Atlanta for a couple of days. I was just on like, really? Yeah, like out of everything we could have got, like I was trying to get Russ like for cheap, for the cheap. And it would have been a great quarterback. He could have helped Riddle, you know what I'm saying? He could have did some things for us, helped us win some games.
Yeah. And Sierra in Atlanta, back in Atlanta.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been great. But no. Yeah. We gonna spend 180.
Yeah, 180.
Not 100 million, not 40 million, 180, 4 years. We got this dude for 4 years. And we don't even know if he can play football.
How much is the guarantee was
$100 million guaranteed? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That man has fleeced
That's
the NFL for
OD,
money.
man.
That's crazy.
I don't even want to talk about football no more after that one, man. Anyway, man, let's move on to some NBA playoffs, man. With the West, I'm not really focused on the East right now. The East is like, it's cool. But the West got all the drama in it. With the 4 play-in teams right now, as of right now, you got this Phoenix Suns, the Mavericks, the Warriors, and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Out of those 4 teams, which 2 will get in?
I'm always say my team, so I'm always say the Lakers, and then I'm gonna go Lakers and Mavericks, because it's just hard to trust if the Suns gonna be healthy, man. Like, Bill has been out in and out, D-Book, and then, God forbid, I don't want nothing to happen to KD, but, usually KD gets some kind of injury at some point.
Yeah.
And just, and I don't want to sit and say, like, are we waiting for it to happen? But he the only one out of the 3 that ain't been hurt, really. Yeah. So it's like, is he next?
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to trust that. And then Luka has been, been killing, but he also just, got a little hamstring strain. So how the hammy could be. So I'm going to go Lakers, Mavericks, unfortunately, because that's just kind of how I see it. I just think the Warriors, they just, they just old. Man, they just old.
What?
They old as hell. Man.
They old.
Yeah. Draymond old.
Bro, they only got 3 old players on that team.
They got
like
4 old players.
4, but the rest, bro, there's 12 people on the roster.
Yeah,
15.
they old, but the core, the main brothers, is old as hell. We all the same age. We all around the same age. Because I feel old at times. I'm a young 34.
Hey, wait, hold on. So you want to use the old card, right?
Yeah.
But you missed their 6-time.
Yeah.
What if he posed the same question about your football career, right? And the teams that you going up against, they say, well, you know what, man, you old, so we gonna go with the other team.
Yeah, I mean, but that's cool. But see, they old and they lack a lot of size. It's just fundamentally, I can't feel like the Warriors is gonna do it right now. I just think they flawed in a lot of different areas. They still without a big man. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how I look at it.
What about you, D?
I wouldn't go with old. I'll say this: you can never count out
They're
LeBron.
seasoned, okay? Is that better?
Hey man, add a little salt and pepper in that money, man. Hey, call them salt and pepper. Call them salt and pepper.
Pepper over there. Salt and pepper.
Hey man, salt and pepper, man, because you can still be old and still be sexy at the same time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steph just turned 35 this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, he's still a baller, though.
He's still a hooper, dog. Still
But
a
I'll say
threat.
this, like I said, I mean, you can never count out LeBron.
No.
Right? And I say LeBron. I don't know about AD, right?
Here we go again.
Facts.
You can never count out LeBron, so I think you always...
We already talked about the real AD.
Yeah, we did.
So what,
and he retired, so he can't help the Lakers.
We wish I had an enforcer like that.
So for me, I'm always rock with the Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
And for me, I think they're starting to hit. They're getting their core guys back.
Yeah.
They're old guys back.
Hey, call it salt and pepper, man. We gotta call it salt and pepper. Call it season, right? You gotta call it
for a reason,
right? Like they Chris Paul know all the rules, all the little trickery stuff. Like you can't get the Warriors out either. I think they're hitting their stride. I mean, and like I said, you can't count LeBron now. I think Luka, he's always going to be a baller. Phoenix, if they can stay healthy, they may. But like you said, they ain't been healthy.
Yeah.
Been healthy all year.
They ain't been healthy. Like I think KD's, will he be considered top 5 alive? I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not hearing too much about him in a sense, like him being just that dude anymore. Yeah. Right? He used to be that dude.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he that dude. But you can go. But I had seen earlier this week that they had JJ Redick had made the thing that when we look back, like 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, we didn't appreciate KD. Yeah, and I don't feel like that's true. I feel like KD gets his flowers.
Yeah,
he gets
definitely.
He gets a bad rap for joining the Warriors.
Yeah,
but overall,
he's still a guy.
He's still, KD gets his flowers. No one talks about KD's basketball court ability. Everyone just says, like, can he go win one by himself? Can he be the guy that leads the train and not a piece of the co-pilot of the
Right.
of the thing, and that's really the only quote unquote knock on KD
Right.
because he's an all-world talent. He's one of the best offensive players that ever grazed the basketball court.
Yeah.
He has the MVP. He has the Finals MVP.
Yeah.
He got the rings. He got the All NBA.
He got all that.
He got all that.
He got all that.
Yeah.
The only thing left really
Is to win without.
is to be the captain of
Yeah.
the ship.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's really
100%.
it. So I don't think his career would ever be, to me, underappreciated.
Right.
Because I appreciate KD. And
100%.
everything he's done for the league.
Good people. Here's my thing before I even go. Shout out to Dirty World. He says, "Stop it. The dub hate is still real."
Come on, CC, man. It's not. I'm not hating on the Warriors.
Warriors all day, baby.
Come on, I'm not hating on the Warriors. Brody, you know I'm not hating on y'all. I just can't pick y'all. I'm just not gonna pick y'all.
Oh, dog.
He
And
got
then, and so here's my thing. I never thought in a million years I'd say this. Because y'all know I'm a LeBron fan.
Oh, here we go. This is crazy. I see where this is going.
I'm a real LeBron fan. And I'm not just a Laker fan, but what I see from the Lakers is we're in March. And the difference between this team and last year's team at this time, they had an identity. You knew who they was. You knew what you was going to get night in, night out. That's why they was able to make it in the play-in and then get to the Western Conference Finals. This year, Lakers, man, like no cap, and I'm not even holding you, I don't know what's their identity.
Blame the head coach.
And we can blame it on the coach as well, too. But I think that
He a
is
head
going
coach,
to
he
be
know.
the reason for their downfall this year because they don't play consistently the same way on a nightly basis. It's like one day they want to play defense, one series they want to play defense. But I feel like every team that plays the Lakers, there's no fear against the whole team. They have their best shooting games. They have the best performances. They shoot the lights out. They give up the most threes. They miss the most threes. And I'm like, you can't win games like that. You're not going to be able to win games. LeBron is 39, and I love LeBron. And shout out to AD. I'm going to give AD some credit.
Come on, man.
He stayed healthy this entire year. He ain't really been out this year. This is probably the most games he played in a while.
Yeah.
In a long time. So I'm not knocking them, but what I get with the Lakers is that the supporting cast, they don't play their role to the T.
All the time. Consistently.
Yeah.
Consistently.
They have days where they want to be the guy. Then they have days when they want to play their role. And when you have those moments and you have those discrepancies and you don't have no structure at the top where the coach can hone in on those things and like, look, guys, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to get down. This is probably going to be the year. Looking at the other two teams, I think the Lakers is going to be the first team out.
Oh, damn.
I'm being honest. I think that when they play against the Warriors, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
It's
But
going to
this
be bad ratings for the NBA.
I know. But it is what it is. I think that when the Lakers play the Warriors, they may skim by the Warriors, but I think the Warriors could win because of how the Lakers play with the inconsistencies and their players' mentalities in big game situations. And so I think that's going to cost them. And then I'm going to say the team that I think can get in is I think the Dallas Mavericks is going to get in as long as they stay healthy. And I think the Phoenix Suns is going to get the A seed. I truly believe that they will find a way to get the A seed, and the Lakers and the Warriors will be out this year. That's my opinion. I'm being 100% just because the Warriors was playing great. They was on a run, and then Curry got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we played. We played the Warriors tonight. Go ahead and spank them.
You better hope.
Win
Is
that
Curry
series.
playing today?
I don't give a damn.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Let you know.
I'm just being honest.
Before you go, you talk about the Warriors being up, but what is LeBron?
He old as hell.
But I'm just saying.
I'm not going to knock that he old. That man is old. He old as hell too. Hey, I'm not going to say when he's not. He old. And like even to make point, like I said, I blame old Bumpy. He's the reason why we can't get right. You feel me? And like I just feel like the Laker players play differently with LeBron. Like DLO is not aggressive. He just dropped 44 recently in a win against Milwaukee. Yeah. And then, then he disappears. And so like when people kept, man, we got this D-Lo and this. I can give a damn about regular season D-Lo.
Right.
You feel me? But because I've seen playoff D-Lo become a real short and small. Yeah. And so I didn't want that juju coming back. I didn't want him to come back this year at all. Yeah. But, I roll with it, whatever the case is. And like I said, I just think the Lakers don't get coached. They got a great motivational speaker that just stands on the sidelines and he acts like a damn baseball manager. He just manages the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at my card. Let's sub him here. All right.
Yeah, you look at Austin Reeves go for 25 in the first, and then play the whole second half to the fourth quarter of like 4 minutes.
Come on, man! Like he was cooking. You don't take nobody out when they cooking. The only way you take them out when they cooking is when they do this.
Yeah.
If they don't do this, and then once they do this, go sit down. I need you got about 3 minutes, brother. 3, because I've coached basketball. You got about 3 minutes. All right, let's go. Because I don't want to get you out of cooking. Once you get the cooking, you got to leave the chef in. And so, like I said, I feel like Old Bumpy is the reason why the Lakers don't have that same identity. And like I said, I'm never going to not pick my team because that's just what it is.
I'm just a realist. I love LeBron, but just what I see.
Yeah, I mean, because you're not a Laker fan.
Yeah, I'm a LeBron fan.
Exactly.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
They're all grown men.
Yeah.
Grown-ass men.
Right?
Tell them. I tell you this all the time.
They're all grown men. And it's different from high school kids and college kids.
Yeah.
But LeBron is they're all grown men. So at some point, grown men need to sit in a room, regardless of how they feel about their coach.
Right.
And say, we have to start playing better.
I don't disagree.
We know our roles.
Yeah.
We have to start going out there and doing what we need to do, regardless of what the head coach is doing. Right now, the only thing that the head coach controls, in a sense, is the rotation.
Yep.
Right? Hey, you go in, you go out. But those guys need to know when we're on the court, all 5 of us have to be on the same page, whether we agree with his substitution or not, right?
100%.
Because our goal is we need to win. We know we want to win, and how we're going to do it is by playing together, right?
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing, right? And I think a lot of it, too, has to come down. I think when people try to compare LeBron to Jordan, right? LeBron doesn't have that same mentality, right? I think LeBron's too nice. I think he wants to be everybody's friend, right?
I've been said that.
And that takes a lot, too, is he doesn't demand it from everybody, right? Or if it's like, hey, like, all right, I'm not getting it from you, now I'm going to take it over, right? But to go back, like I said, to be devil's advocate, I think it goes back. You can blame the coach all you want, but it comes down to grown men saying, yo, listen, I'm trying to get this bag, right? And the further we go in the playoffs,
the more the bag is increased.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So I look at it from that standpoint. Now, if this was college basketball, if this was high school basketball,
you got a legitimate point.
Then it's like, yo, the coach maybe isn't motivating, right?
Yeah.
But LeBron's played with some of the greatest coaches. LeBron knows his way around the block. They're all grown men where they've been around the block. So,
but even when I say coaching, me just being the guy that is focused on strategy, you know how it is.
Okay, if you want to go with strategy, okay.
I'm looking more at what are our defensive coverages when we playing against certain teams? What are we doing offensively when we playing against certain teams? The thing that pisses me off, and this has been a thing that's been going on, I've been saying it all week, how AD is O and whatever against Jokic, Sabonis, and B.
It's awful.
You know, it's an awful thing.
It's awful.
But with me, I watch those games, right? And then I can watch the regular, they playing Charlotte or whatever games. And the attention that Darvin Ham be like, or the Lakers be like, let's get AD the ball against those teams. Against these other dudes, it's like, he gonna get the ball here and there. Like, I can't understand, and maybe it's an AD thing or a Laker thing, I can't understand. It's like, if their guys is going at our guy,
right?
Why aren't you giving our guy the chance to go at their guy?
I think they do. They double, like in the Sacramento game. I watched the Sacramento game, and they started to go with AD, and he was getting off, but then they started doubling him.
Yeah, but that becomes a piece of it. Like it's sometimes they double him, but sometimes they really don't. And I just be looking at the games, and I'm like, just give him the ball. Like, because if LeBron didn't play, like, say LeBron don't play if he was playing the Kings.
Yeah.
AD would be touching the ball almost every single possession. Right. But when LeBron's in against those same teams, it's not the same vibe. And I think you allow teams to just, and I feel like just AD is a human. Like, these guys are touching the ball every single time down the court, making decisions, going at me. But me, I'm not getting that freedom. You feel me? I'm not getting that same latitude that these other dudes getting. So then when the box scores come in, it's the Lakers lost and I got outplayed. And like, to me, that's unfair because I've watched him go. He just went 20. He had a 25-25-5 game.
Yeah, against Milwaukee, right?
That was the next game. They played.
Who did he do that against? What was that? Who was the team? I forgot.
Yeah, but he just
It was a team that they should have won.
And they won that game. But I'm just saying he had
trying to remember.
25, 25, and 5. That's the first player that did that since like the 1973 recording of stats or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I just feel that's when I say when I say coaching, Dame, that's what I'm looking at. Just the strategy and the mindset of what he wants to do, because I don't see him coaching. When they played Denver, I'm watching Mike Malone, Dame. He's in the defensive stands when Denver's on defense. And he's animated. Because I've seen you coach. Like, when you coaching,
Minnesota.
You have to be invested
Yes.
into that. And so your team can just feed off that. And even though they grown men, it's just a thing like, damn, my coach is in it too. Like, oh, shit, well, coaches
I agree with that.
You feel me? When coach is locked in,
Yeah.
we even more locked in. When coach is all lethargic, chill, laid back, we gonna kind of take on the identity of who our leader is, and so that's where my problem comes in at.
Well, then I get that. I get that energy part of it, but also too though, just that's who he was before he started coaching.
Yeah.
And that's just
You can't change who you are.
That's why
you
he was a
don't-
solid hire.
But you don't change, you adjust.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yes.
can't change, but you adjust. But like I think the biggest thing about it is just finding out what the inner workings are, what they've come to agree with, and things of that nature. But like I said, for me, just when I watch basketball and you look at the Warriors, you look at Steve Kerr, and you look at the Warriors, right? Like you look at the Lakers, like both head coaches played in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, Steve Kerr played with Michael Jordan. Steve Kerr became look at how he came up and the things
His
that he's done.
his coaching tree is crazy.
He was a general manager at one point in Phoenix, right? So he's done it all, and he kind of been around it all, and so he's at the point because then Steve Kerr doesn't get down in the stands. Steve Kerr is kind of a game manager if you look at it, right? If you watch how Steve Kerr is on the sideline, he's still, I think he's more of a player coach than anything. Why? Because he's been around the Jordans of the world, the GMs of the world. Like he's been around certain coaches that have helped, that he's probably pulled from and put into his coaching style.
Right.
Where's D-Ham really been?
I mean,
coaches
D-Ham,
has
he was with Phil when the Lakers won. He was his first championship. He was on that staff when the Lakers won with Kobe and them, and then he was with Mike Budenholzer when he won the championship. And
but
so,
I mean, as far as the personality wise, right?
Oh yeah, but because even with Steve Kerr, right? Steve Kerr has built a system, to where now Steve Kerr can just kind of let the system be itself, and he can just kind of like let it rock. Like Bake said, Darvin Ham never has developed a system to where you can kind of sit back and let it flow. It's like it's every game or now season, it's something different. It's like it's never the same thing. You know what you're going to get out the Warriors. So that's why it's beautiful basketball when it's executed the way Steve and everybody want it to be. With the Lakers, like you said, you have zero identity. Zero. And when you don't have an identity, it just makes basketball look like, what the hell? Because they're going a streak where you're like, ooh, they playing great basketball. And then you'll watch a game, you'll be like, what is this?
Here's the thing, though.
So when they're playing great basketball, is that the coach or is that the players?
I don't know. That's the point.
No. I'm saying, here's the thing, though. I think with the Lakers, I got to be honest, though. The people that they do have out there, they're not like defenders like that. Like Austin Reed's not a defender like that. D'Lo's not a defender like that. So I understand why they're struggling defensively, because when you watch the games, they have so many defensive laps when they do this. And you a grown man and you like, what? When you do that mean like you ain't supposed to be there. Like, what are you doing? And they do that so many times. I remember I was watching the game against Minnesota, and shout out to AD for getting 25-25. But that was also a game with Gorbert didn't play and Towns didn't play.
But you see, but I was saying now the emphasis on let's get AD the ball because they not playing.
And so, but what I will play devil advocate too. When they try to get AD the ball, that same energy sometimes don't be there when he's playing against those non-bigs or whatnot. Like I saw Sabonis in the game against Sacramento. He was literally punking AD. Like literally manhandling. And I'm like, bro, it's a point of your time. It ain't on the coaching. If you want the ball, get the ball and do something. But every time he got the ball, he was, I don't want it. Like, I get it. It's like, give him the ball, but if you don't demand the ball, and if when you get the ball, you ain't trying to do nothing with it. And to talk to D's point is when he was talking about LeBron. Like, LeBron is at a point like this. I know what we supposed to do, and I remember in the Sacramento game, because I watched that game, and I could talk about that one. It was a point that was losing. He turned it on. and he got him close. He had a couple of dunks because you know LeBron, he'd be like, let me see if we gonna let me see if I can turn it on or we just gonna pack this one up, right?
Because he old.
He turned it on, right?
He old as hell.
It was like, all right, we going to the stove.
Yeah.
All right, I think we going to the stove. The car was going, and he had a couple of dunks, hit a 3, and they're down by 9. He got AD the ball. AD threw a soft butter ass biscuit floater. Didn't even hit the side of the rim. And I kid you not, LeBron looked at him and said, and you can see LeBron say, well, and then he gave up 2 threes, and it's like, well.
Well, because I believe he did that, and then on one of the next possessions, I watched LeBron. Man, it was a defensive and I'm watching this because I've been like, because it pisses me off. I'm watching. It was like a screen, boom, 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 and it was a defensive rotation
right.
where LeBron just said, I'm not going out there. And the man was wide open. And like, you know, because I've been there, even when you see a dude wide open, you at least supposed to go run at him.
Yeah.
Like, make an effort like I'm about to contest. Yeah. LeBron said, I ain't even going out there. He hit the 3. He started looking at everybody else. Nigga, that was your rotation.
Yeah, the real talk.
That was your rotation.
He does that.
Come on, man.
But what I'm getting at, though, and I really think that I think AD turn up on against players that he know he can turn up on, and when he play against those players, because ain't no way you should be 0-10 against these people. Ain't no way you should have a losing record. Like, even if you lose, you should be matching your opponent. And he don't do that a lot of times. And that's the part that gives him the big check mark. It's be like, bro, like, if you AD, like, LeBron has been proven. When he played against some competition, he stepped up to those and add 50 or 40 or 30 when he had to. AD has to do that to everybody, and not just, I'm going to show it today when ain't nobody I know it can't guard me, but when I got some people like Jokic, when I got some people like Sabonis, people that you know you probably more athletic in, that you should get buckets on, you don't want to show up.
He stepped up against Giannis. I mean, every time you play Giannis, he goes at Giannis, and that's an interesting thing that they do that. But I mean, listen, I was on Instagram this past week, and I seen AD crib, and he can give a damn about what we talking about.
I know, right? Anyway,
he did get punked by Sabonis.
Yeah.
And then,
it was.
And then when they
Sabonis
jumped,
socked him in his face.
now when they jumped for the ball and they collided and he hit the ground, he looked at the ref like.
yeah.
I'd have been like, oh, that's what we
that's
doing.
what the time.
Okay, that's what time.
I'm saying.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but some of those NBA players ain't got that mindset.
They don't have it anyway, man.
That's why
but I
he-
know who do got that mindset.
That's why he's not the real AD.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Facts.
Just can't let it go. Huh?
Can't let it go, man. I know who do got that mindset, and it was getting frisky and hot at the SEC championship game between the South Carolina and the LSU Tigers.
I love women's
bro.
basketball right
and it
now.
was
It's lit.
competitive, man. And so some fights going on, and it's been a little dark cloud over the game, and a lot of people been pointing out like the scuffle, number one, and number two about the coach's responses
that
and
was
the coach's remark where. What's the coach's name again?
Miss Kim Mulkey, Coach Mulkey.
And she like, I wish she would have did this to Angel Reese.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she wouldn't have took that. You know what I'm saying? Where the other coach, you know, is like
Don Staley took the high road.
Took the high road. Like, it's a bad mark on basketball. It takes away from a great competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
We understand the heat of the moment. Things can happen, but this shouldn't happen. Boom, 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 boom. And so my thing is, why is it, if it was a sister that said what Kim said, it'd be all hell break loose.
We know. We gonna call.
But when the white lady said, you know,
it's just breast. It's a competitive spirit.
it's a competitive spirit.
competitive spirit.
And the fact that they got the sister looking like the enforcer, like, yeah, she don't play that. Like, throw hands. Like, that's what we about around here at LSU.
Because I think Kim Mulkey's premise was Flau'jae Johnson is small. Angel Reese is a little bigger.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pick on the bigger person than the small person. So like I guess her thought process is like, don't be all big and bad to the little person. You know, bullying type vibes.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. That's her mindset.
That's what she was getting at. But I think if she was right there, I think she still would have pushed her.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. Like when I saw a video when the whole thing happened, what's her name went right to the bench.
Oh, Angel Reese, because he just hurt her ankle.
And she went right to the bench, right? So it's like, again, like I understand, like Kim was upset, right? It's a time and place to say what you need to say.
Yeah.
right?
24-hour rule. You know the rules.
Both coaches, like, you can see Dawn's face when it all went down. She's like, oh no, like she wasn't like accepting of it, like, oh yeah, go ahead, right? But we all know, as coaches, we always say protect your teammates.
Amen.
Right? You always say that because at the end of the day, you never want to see your teammate go into a battle by themselves. Right? And so that's all she did was defend her teammate. I think people find ways to make things into a worse situation. It wasn't an all-out brawl. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a bench clearing fan. Well, there was a
the
fan.
Brother.
The brother.
What is
the brother
tripping?
Now
that was tripping. He's tripping. I saw all the charges he caught. He was tripping.
Punch on the chin.
Yeah, he's tripping.
Who jumps the guardrail for some?
He's tripping. I get that's your sister, but at the end of the day, it's competitive spirit, right? But it's one of those things to where I don't think it was a black eye on the game. I think people are trying to make it a black eye because we understand that violence it sells, right? No, it was a competitive game. It happens in the NBA. Yeah. It happens in Pop Warner, right? Like when kids start pushing on each other, right? Like
parents come out there.
Yeah, you never want to see it turn into an all-out brawl.
Yeah.
But I just think it was competitive. It was a competitive environment. Like the energy was high. Like you can't replicate that in every single game, right? And so I think it was blown way out of proportion. I think Don handled it perfectly. Like, hey, that's not how we want to end the game.
Right.
We're going to do better. We're going to work on things. And that was her approach because that's just who she is.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like,
and she's a real one, too, though.
And she was a former player who played at the high level that understands the game from a different standpoint, right? Versus LSU's coach, her mindset is completely different, right? She's dealing with a different ball game, and her attitude has to be a little bit different. Now, how she said it, no, I don't think she could have came. I don't think she should have said it how she said it because you're implying that this young lady over here is afraid of this young lady. No, unfortunately, that young lady that you're saying she should have pushed wasn't in that situation. But they're going to end up seeing each other again.
Oh, that's the hope. That's the hope.
Possibly, right?
That's the hope.
And so it's like you guys got
to need to run that fade again.
Exactly. So when y'all do, now it's like, okay, hey, like at that point, we already know the energy is going to be out through the roof, right? And so it's just like she could have handled it different, like you said, the 24-hour rule, right? When it's like, okay, let me calm down. Or she could have said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to speak on the situation right now. Let me get all my facts together. Let me figure out what went on. And then I'll address that at a later situation.
Here's my thing, too. First of all, I think the NCAA is going to put them in the same bracket so they do play before they get to the Final Four. I think that will happen.
It's going to sell.
It sells, and hopefully they get to that point. But here's my thing, though. And I get what Kim was trying to say, but this is where I get where some folks try to act like a character that they really not like that. Like, if those are all white women on her team, I don't think she's saying anything like that. Yeah. But she got a lot of sisters on her team. And she's trying to connect with the sisters like, yeah, I'm about that. I'm with my team. I'm for my team. I think that's why she made the comment that she made. Like, I wish she would. It was like almost like a mom comment. Like, I wish she would have came to your big sister. And, you know what I'm saying? Now, do I agree that old girl that the center had the audacity to go over there and truck hit old girl like she was playing Madden 2023?
She hip checked her like in hockey.
Bro, she gave her the big stick. It's just boom. And I was like, yo, here's my thing. Look, if you want to come over there and you want to get in the face, be like, look, ain't going to be none of that. That's cool. But the fact for me, I was like, yo, she doing too much. Because that be like, yo, you see Shorty, little Shorty, you ain't even got to do all that. But sometimes big people, they want to bully people. They want to make they point known. She went over there and did a little bit extra.
I'm not disagreeing with her being a tad bit extra because that's costing you a first round game in the NCAA tournament because she got suspended.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because she got ejected due to the situation. Like I said, I just think that it's a heated rivalry between LSU and South Carolina. LSU ain't beat South Carolina in God knows how long, and so that's just kind of what it is. And so I think to me it became more of a bad thing because it's women.
Yeah,
and we want to keep trying to put women.
And it's
in
black women, though. Let's put the emphasis on that. It's black women.
We want to put women in this light that they can't be fiery, that they can't be competitive, that they can't have real emotions during the game because they just supposed to be cute and petite and doing all that. No, man, women can ball. And it's been a proven fact. That's why, to me, again, like I said last week, the women's tournament is a lot more exciting than the goddamn men's tournament because of all these names. Now we got even more drama. So when Sunday come out, or Monday, whenever they do it, or I think it's Sunday. Now we're gonna be really watching. Like, is LSU and South Carolina?
Yeah, I
gonna
think
be on the same?
there's Monday and the guys are Sunday.
Yeah, like so everybody's interested. Like, is LSU and South Carolina on the same
They're
side?
gonna put them on the same side.
Where's Caitlin Clark gonna go? Where's Juju gonna go? Like, we're interested in women's. I know I am. I'm interested in women's basketball, college basketball right now, just because it's more names, it's more drama,
100%.
and I love the fact that these young women are showing fire. I love the fact that these young women are talking to each other and you letting them go back and forth. Like, this is what sports is about,
Right.
not whether it's male or female.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're starting to see our young women starting to take on that, like, nah, we here too, and we can be fiery too.
I'm not mad at that. I think that's the competitive nature in people, right? But this the thing that I think the media tries to do is when somebody of an opposite color does it, it's accepted. But when we do it, it's always aggressive.
we
it's
ghetto.
It's over the top. We doing stuff we shouldn't be doing. This is a black eye on the game. Because let's say if Caitlin Clark got into a scuffle with another one, they would have been like, it's the competitive nature in this basketball. Ain't none. Probably would it have been looked at as a good thing. But you see some sisters on there, some sisters. Oh, okay. I thought they was coming to get it. I was like, we ain't here for another 40 minutes. I said, you see some sisters, and now they like, oh, this is bad. It's a dark eye on the game. How dare they do that? And blase, blah.
And you're absolutely right? But I think one thing that I think the thing is we allow the media to skew our narrative, or to skew the narrative.
Facts.
Right?
Okay.
We know it's fiery. Who cares what anybody else thinks, right? Like, and that's the biggest thing is, it's easy for them to go and say, like you said, like when it's two black women going, oh, that's black eye on sports. No, it's not. Like, it's teaching young ladies, regardless of white, black, whatever, it's okay to be fiery, right? You should have passion when you're doing something that you love, right? Now, to go back to with the point, like you said, when she pushed the girl. Now, here's the thing: if South Carolina loses first round of playoffs, now that's a teaching point for
Cardozo.
Everybody that got involved. Like, hey, you have to be mentally sound and know in that heat of the moment, you can be fiery, but you got to be smart. You got to be smart.
Can't coach your team.
You can't exactly
coach
right
your
because
team.
we talk about that as coaches, where it's like, hey, I get where your mindset is going, but in that heat of the moment, you got to be a thinker. Right. But like I said, like with Caitlin Clark, like she did what she did last year. Everybody blew it out of proportion. Like, no, like people who know sports, like, man, hey, girl, you did what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to talk. Because when you're putting in the work like she puts in the work, when you're doing all the things that you're doing and you're showing your success out there, Coach Baxter says it all the time: celebrate all wins. Right? You do that. Celebrate your win. Right? It's not, as long as you're not calling somebody out their name.
Right.
As long as you're not doing none of that type of stuff, if you out there celebrating with your teammates, having fun, you know what I mean, calling glass, whatever the case may be, do that, right? Enjoy, show people that you love the game, right? I don't think there's a sense that I'm about to disrespect the game. Yeah. I don't think that's the mindset at all from those ladies, right?
No, 100%. But it's looked differently because when Caitlin Clark did it against South Carolina, beating the number one team that was undefeated, get it. But when Angel Reese did it,
it became a whole
spectacle. Disrespectful, bad sportsmanship, tasteless to the game,
and that's
they tried to clown her.
And you're right, and that was wrong of them, right? Because that's what the media is supposed to do, right? So they get ratings, right? But then behind closed doors, they talked. Angel Reese and they laughing at the media because like, girl, you did what you're supposed to do, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's what it's supposed to be about, right? Like, the media wants to make it look bad, which sucks, right? Because the media, again, drama sells, right? So we're gonna paint this narrative and things of that nature, and when it's like, no, at the end of the day, as long as those two competitors are okay with it,
facts. Because Caitlin did an interview probably like that same week, and they asked her, she was like, we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand where she's coming from. She had that right to do all that. And, Caitlin's under the mindset, even going like the Steph Curry. When you do it, you got to know it's going to come back.
Right.
So you got to be able to accept it. And that's one of the biggest things that I like about Steph is like, he going to show you.
Yeah.
But he gonna laugh at when it gets shown back to him. So and that's when, like I said,
spirit.
That's when when you're real competitive, and that's how it is. Like he's like, I'm the type of person that I'm gonna show it too, and I'm okay with getting that same energy kind of back. But
it's like that in coaching, right? Like I think the mindset is you always have to feel you're the best at what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? You always have to have that competitive mindset, and it's like, that's in you, right? Whether you are a man or a woman, a kid, right? Like you always have that competitive mindset. That's one thing I love about LSU and South Carolina. They have that competitive mindset.
100%.
They have that. The Caleb Cart, like she has that competitive mindset, and she's going to show the world that she can compete. It just sucks, like you said, that whenever there's that color scheme in there, the narrative gets flipped, and it gets flipped in a negative light versus just being like, no, like let's harp on the fact that they're passionate.
Right.
Let's speak to the fact
Especially
that
the women.
they're bringing more exposure to women's basketball. Let's work on that, because when NBA players get in a fight, they don't say nothing, right? They don't ever say anything about it, right? But it's more actually, it's worse when NBA players do it.
Think about this, Dame. It was a melee at a college basketball game just recently, probably like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, between like, it was some smaller schools, but it was a full out fight. Like they was throwing hands.
Yeah.
And it came on ESPN and it left ESPN.
Yeah.
The women's did a push, poof, and it was on ESPN.
Exactly.
It was on the morning show. It was like
Big names.
it lasted forever, and it was because it's the way, like, and that's my biggest thing is like we have to get out of this. When you throw color in it, boom, and then you throw women in it, it's like we just keep taking things to a whole new level, like Dame said, for unnecessary reasons.
Facts.
But the beautiful part about it is women are protectors.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. And I say this to my boys all the time. If you ever want to know how your boy feels about you, watch how the wife treats you. Right? Because women are natural bodyguards and protectors, and they like, hey, because if you're wrong, right? If you're doing something wrong, like they like, yo, that person's not good for you, right? So it's in the woman's instinct to be a protector or have that fiery about them because that's just how they are, right? Facts. And so when you see it in sports, it's like they're not supposed to act that way. And then when they become wives, it's this is how you should be acting, right? But no, it's like you know, that's like, crazy. Hey, like, do you want your daughter being raised or your son being raised by a woman who has some type of fire to them, because they're teaching them to say, hey, like I want you to be passionate. I want you to have control passion, control fieriness, right? But it's not a bad thing to see that, man. Like I like seeing that because they're human, first of all. Yeah. And that's the most important thing is humans, we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to be, but it shows that they love the game. They love their teammates, right? Because it would have been completely different if the shoving happened and they all just left their teammate out to hang. Then that would have been a bigger story, right? And that would have been a bigger story. Now that would have been a bigger story by not the media, by people that they see every single day. Like, oh man, you just left your teammate out to dry, right? Now that messes up the morale and the culture within the culture, right? Like you left me hanging, right? Now what is the coach teaching, right? Are you not teaching camaraderie? So it just. You know, again,
it's a lot, man. But hey, it's sports though. That's what it is. That's the love and beauty of sports. But we got our brother in the building, and this is the opportunity where we get to tap in more about our brother, his upbringing, his lifestyle, all that good stuff. What is he doing now, and why is he so impactful to the community and the culture, man? So, shout out to my boy Dame coming in the building.
Hey man, it's been fun, man.
Oh, we ain't done.
I know. I'm saying the conversation has been fun, man.
That's what we do, man. We try to create this environment. You've watched the show, man, and that's just kind of how we are, and all that stuff. So to start off with, I mean, you grew up in Oakland. Which part? Because last time we had James on here.
Like
so what part of
Oakland? North.
So I grew up. So when I was little, I was in West Oakland.
Okay.
Then we moved over to North Oakland.
Okay.
So I grew up more so in North Oakland.
Okay.
And so De La Salle. Can you kind of talk to, because that streak, I think it was 156, 52?
They end up losing at 151,
151. 151. And you being through that cycle, can you talk about that time at that school during your time and how all that was?
Man, it was dope, man. Listen. I said this before in my life. God places you in certain places, right? Put you in certain places, right? My mom knew about De La Salle before I knew about De La Salle.
Okay. Shout out to moms.
Yeah.
And so she knew about it before I did. I'm thankful for Patty Rain. She had a connection to De La Salle. But my whole 4 years, man, was amazing, man. I was in a situation where I grew as a young man, right? I think if I was in any other situation, I wouldn't be here today. right? Because so how my 8th grade year, I had 2 schools to go to.
Right.
I was either going to go to De La Salle or I was going to go back to Oakland, go to Oakland Tech.
Okay.
So my mom knew one of the coaches at Oakland Tech, so it was like, hey, if your son doesn't get into De La Salle, come over here. So I got lucky and went to De La Salle, and that whole experience, man, was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends nowadays that I have are from De La Salle. Like my best friend is Maurice Jones-Drew, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's your guy.
That's
like,
dope.
and it's funny, like a lot of people don't know. I actually met Maurice when we were running club track together, right? So like we met each other, and then we end up going to the same school together, and then that's been my dog ever since. And so, but just I was able to experience just different people. Right, different ethnicities, learn different things. Right, like I grew up. I didn't know somebody can own a car dealership. Right, like I always thought that. All right, Honda owned a car. Like I didn't know anything like that. Right, but my kicker, his family owned a car dealership. Right, they owned garbage companies. Like you start running into people who own businesses, and you see where they start to grow their financial stuff and things of that nature. But we didn't lose a game my freshman year. And I didn't lose a game, a high school game at all.
That's crazy.
That's
work.
crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to that.
And I'm talking like, being a kid, because I was in Long Beach. I didn't go to Poly, but, the games I had against Poly during that streak, because, Poly at the time was them two teams too. So
Poly in modern day.
Yeah. So when you see that, it's like, ooh, okay, let's see what De La Salle really about. Then they went to Long Beach and slapped Poly like they didn't even exist.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was
Jesus
awful.
Christ.
And Poly had some dogs.
Yeah, they did.
But before Poly, it was modern day, right? So my sophomore year, we played modern day. They gave us a run for our money. If they don't miss the field goal, I think we either go into overtime with them or we lose that game by 1. That was probably my worst game ever in my life.
We all got those. I remember mine.
So, I mean, but, the Poly game was off the hook because I remember when we first walked out there, you see the big Samoan dudes. And so when we played at Long Beach City. Yeah. So the locker rooms, if I'm not mistaken, like the locker rooms are really close to each other, right? So we walk out for warm-ups, and you see the big Polynesian dudes standing there. They dudes. Yeah, exactly. They big dudes. They staring at you, and we like, okay. Right, like they got Mercedes Lewis, Darnell Bean, you know what I mean? Herschel Dennis, like they got some dudes over there, right? Winston Justice, Manuel Wright. Who else am I forgetting, man? Derek Jones.
They had guys.
They had some dudes. Like, I think on that one team alone, if I'm not mistaken, on that team alone, they had 12 Division I. On that field, they had 12.
Yeah.
They had 12. We 12 only had
that
year Matt Gutierrez and I think Derek Landry. Matt Gutierrez went on to Michigan. Derek Landry went on to Notre Dame. To our 2 or 3, whatever, right? Yeah. But we came out there again. We knew in our hearts of hearts that was our game to lose.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like we when you grind in the summer, man. This is what I try to teach my kids now. I'm putting in all the work in the off season.
Facts.
Summer. And when it hits season, I'm not finna lose to you. I've been working my butt off.
Facts.
Right? That my mindset is I've been on the grind from January all the way to now. There's no way I'm finna lose to you.
Facts.
Right? So in our mindset going in, it was like we can't lose.
Right.
Right? Like if we lose, then we affect the people that came before us. Right? So in our mind, we not going into Poly finna lose this game. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, like we knew Poly had some dogs.
Right.
But we got some dogs too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we knew going into the game, like the night before we had our team meeting, it's like we got to go out there and play assignment football.
There it is.
We can't make any of the mental mistakes. We can't go out there and give them the game. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us because they were just more superior than when we are.
Facts.
Right? Nobody knew Maurice was going to come out and play the way he played.
He had a hell of a game.
Nobody knew that, right? That was his breakout game.
He went crazy, homie.
And that's one thing that Maurice...
I remember watching that live.
Man, listen, and Maurice is a humble dude. Like It wasn't like the night before he was like, I'm finna run through these dudes. No, we set our commitment cards, right? We do commitment cards for every game. He said what his commitment's going to be, and he went out there and he executed.
There it is.
Right? That's all it was.
Man,
yeah.
Right?
You that game as a kid, young kid, watching that on TV. Because I really wanted to go to the game, but somehow me and my dad...
That junk was packed.
It was packed.
Yeah. Me and my dad was supposed to go, but I can't remember what happened to why we didn't. But I remember being at home, watching Turn on FS1.
Yep.
And like, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
And Maurice
went off.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it was crazy because he went off on offense, man. Mac, our quarterback, did his thing. I mean, our O-line, at halftime, our O-line linemen were getting IVs because they were going both ways. You know, it was humid that day too. You know what I mean? So it was a battle, man.
It was.
So here's my thing, though. I want to ask, when did you know, like, hey, man, I'm gonna be a corner when you play? Because I know when people play football, you kind of play, especially when you're young and growing up. They put you everywhere to see where you're at. And when did you identify and say, you know what, this is the position that I want to play and I want to enjoy, and I can feel myself, I can have a chance to make it in?
Shoot, after my freshman year. No, I played running back, right? I played running back my freshman year, and I was a cold running back, right? But I'm like, man, I ain't finna go up to varsity and get smacked around. I'm finna do the hitting, right?
Yeah.
And so, but they utilized me for like reverse and stuff like that. But I just knew at that point that I just wanted to play defense. I was like, I would mess up the plays on offense, you know. So they had to put me on defense. Right, but now
Y'all had like a wing. Y'all was running a wing too and all that.
No, we ran the veer. But don't get it twisted. Like we had some good running backs. If
Yeah.
I wanted to stay at that position, they would allow me to stay at the position.
Right.
But I wanted to play corner. Right?
Yeah.
That was where my passion was. But when they needed me on offense, I would go over to offense. It wasn't like I was like, no, I'm not playing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Like,
it's high school too.
Yeah,
though.
it's high school.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
but I mean, shoot, we had at that time we had Maurice, we had Elijah, we had Nate, we had some big dogs in that position.
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'm not finna see the field at running back. I'm finna go see the field at corner. Like my sophomore year, I beat out 3 seniors. Right? Versus if I would have tried to just go
That's a
play
big
running
deal.
back.
That's a big
Like
deal.
sophomore
Yeah.
beat out 3 seniors on a team that's undefeated. That's huge.
You know what I mean? So versus if I would have tried to go play running back, I'd have been sitting. Right. So for me, once that sophomore year happened for me, I fell in love with just playing corner. Now, like I said, if they needed me on offense, it was like, hey, Damon, we need you to run reverse. Okay, cool, I'll run that, right? Or, hey, we need you to do this. I did it, right? I did kickoff return. I did punt return. So I still had the ball in my hand, but my primary position wasn't running back.
I feel that.
So Fresno State, how do we get to Fresno State? What was that recruitment process like coming from De La Salle and then ultimately ended up at Fresno State and getting here and running with Pat Hill and the boys?
Man, really, it was academics. That's what hurt me. So let me not say hurt me. So when I came out of high school, like I didn't do good on my SATs or my ACTs. So at a young age, I was diagnosed with learning disability. So academics for me was very hard, right? So, and we all know when you're coming out of high school, you got to have a high SATs, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because I was getting recruited, right? I mean, I went on a trip to SC. I went on, I was getting recruited by pretty much all the California schools. I was getting all those letters and stuff like that. But the only thing that was hurting me was like they
Academics. Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, we need you to pass your SATs. You pass your SATs and you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what hurt me. But at the time, Fresno State had what they call Prop 48. So Prop 48 essentially, like academically, you don't qualify, but we can still get you into school. You just need to make sure you pass your summer school and you pass your fall and spring grades to show that you can handle a college load. So then going into my summers when I got summer of 04 is when I got put on full scholarship. And then I was all she wrote after that. So, but yeah, it was either go to JC route, like SC was like, Coach Orjon was like, hey, go play at a junior college, then we'll come back and get you. But like I said, me and my mom sat down, and Mrs. Ramsey sat down, was like, hey, you struggle academically, right? So if you go to JC route and you don't qualify,
now it's a whole new story.
that's a whole new story.
Right.
Versus going and getting into Fresno State, and let's just say I don't qualify academically, guess what? I'm still in the 4 years at
Right.
college,
Yeah,
right?
that
I'm
makes
still in a university. So football ends, I can still go there and be there academically and
Right.
graduate from there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the mindset. So
let's talk about that though, because you graduated. Not only you graduated, you're doing a lot of great things right now. How was that process with trying to get your academics right, dealing with your disability that you had to deal with, and still play football and stay eligible all your 4 years to play football?
Man, shout out to Kelly Paramo. She was our academic advisor. Shout out to John Baxter. We had academic game plan. So those are 2 main things that helped me stay eligible, right? Like for me, I tell people this all the time. School is the only thing that makes me insecure, right? Because that was the only thing that I was not good at, right? So I struggled mentally with that because I got my boys getting A's. School came easy to them, and for me, I was struggling, right? So you put a test in front of me, I'm like, right?
Right.
Right. But you put a playbook in front of me, I'm like, I got that, right? You put anything that other than academics in front of me, man, I'm like, I'm struggling a little bit, right? So for me, but I love the game of football.
Right.
And I knew in order for me to continue to play this, I have to be academically sound, right? I have to go ahead and go to AGP, go get the extra tutoring, go see my teachers and get that extra help so that I can stay eligible to help my teammates. Right. But like I said, I mean, even right now, I'm going back to school to get my teacher credential. I don't like it, but I do it because I love the school that I'm at and I love the position that I have. So it's like that's what my motivation is, right? I could have easily just said, you know what, I'm not gonna get my teacher credential, right? Just I'll be a sub for the rest of my life, right? But that's not what I want for my life, right?
Amen.
So it's like I want to maximize my potential.
Amen.
So that's what I'm doing right now. But it was a struggle though, man. Don't get it twisted. It was hard for me academically, but like I said, I had those 2 support systems in place.
Yeah.
To help me get through it.
No, that's good, man. That's 100% good. See, a lot of people don't understand. Everybody's story is different, right? And we always look at the success part of it, but we don't understand the journey part of it, and we don't appreciate the journey. We just want to get to the success and not understand it. Like it takes time, it takes sacrifice, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and grit to continue to push. Because I know you had some times that probably like I don't know if I'm gonna finish this.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that time. Like, what was that like for you when you got to that point where you're just like, am I gonna finish this? Or I'm gonna be able to play like this? Is this it? You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean?
Well, you talk about like perseverance, right? Like for me, like I pledged my sophomore year.
He's a Kappa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was my second. Wait, hold on. I'm a noob. Let's get into the difference between that and me. But anyways, we're not gonna go into that. But going into my second semester. So I got here summer of 03, going into spring of 04. Is when I pledged to join my fraternity. But I learned a lot of words like perseverance and things of that nature. I had already knew it, but the definition was instilled in me. So, but that's what I leaned on the rest of my time is persevering, right? Like, even though things are going to be difficult, I still need to continue to push forward, right? Even in those moments where it's like, like you said, I don't know if I can do this, right? I found my why, right? I found my why while I was working through these things because at the end of the day, you're always going to have trials and tribulations, right? Like there's never a point in life where anybody, millionaires, billionaires, where their life is like this.
Yep.
Where they're constantly climbing. You're good. Like literally, life is like this. Right. It may be 2 days, it may be 3 days before your life dips, it may be 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. Right. But you're always going to be up and down. But it was what kept me there is the motivation from my mom, like not disappointing her, not disappointing my teammates, not disappointing my kids. Or my daughter at the time, right? Just finding that motivation and just not quitting. Like, I don't know how to quit.
That's the big one.
I don't know how to quit. I never was a quitter in anything in life. I don't think I've never quit a sport just to quit. Now, I might have stepped away from a sport. Like, I had to pick and choose between basketball and football my sophomore year, but that's because I'm like, dude, I keep struggling academically. Playing basketball is not going to get me to college. Right. So I stepped away from that. But that's a different story. But
that makes sense.
But it comes down to, like, for me, it would just, I had to constantly keep finding my why. And then, and that made things more clear. And so for me, that's what really motivated me. I didn't want to give up, right? I don't know how to give up. I don't know how to just say, all right, I've had enough. Let me just kick my feet up and then not have regrets for doing that. Right.
That's
so
good.
It was one of those things to where it's like, don't give up, keep fighting. Even when you don't want to, you got to find a way. You got to find your why, right? And you got to search for it. It's not always there, right? You got to pray about it, right?
There it is.
You got to have an open mind, right?
Yeah.
And also too an open heart, right?
Talking,
because our mind and our heart are two different things, right? Our mind see everything, you see everything, but our heart is what takes everything, right? And that's one of the biggest things is your heart is more of the passion, the drive behind it, but your mind is what sees everything, right? Because your heart doesn't have eyes on it,
right? It don't,
right? Your eyes see it and it relates and it processes everything to your heart.
Facts.
Yeah. Right, like football. You talking about that was my heart, right? Like if I'm watching the stuff, it's like, all right, man, that's a physical game. Do I really want to do that? But my heart is like, right.
You built for it.
You got it, right? And so, and that's essentially even with like academics. Like my mind was like, bro, you not. But my heart was like, you want to play football, right? Like you got this, right? And so. And that's the biggest thing, man. That was what even now as a father, even now as a coach, even everything comes from the heart, right? Like I do things from the heart. I don't do things for instant gratification to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing if it was up to me, I would be behind the scenes with a lot of things in life, right? Because a lot of things that I do comes from the heart, and I'm just passionate about it.
There it is.
Right? Like I want to see change, right? Like I want people to be good human beings.
There it is.
Right? Like my teammates, right? Or not my team, but the kids on my team. Like I love them, even with their little quirkiness all the time, right? But everything that I do comes from love, and so and again, that's what helped me get through a lot of different things.
No, that's real.
So when you finished Fresno State, I know you had a little stint in the league, and I know we had talked about you was done in 2010. You said that was your last.
Yeah, that's when I stopped playing. Yeah.
So what was like that journey after college? A little bit of league, some arena. Did you play some CFL or?
No, I didn't go over CFL. I could have, but I didn't.
Okay. So what was that? What was that at? That stint from graduating and that little football stint right there. What was that like?
Man, it was a journey, right? Going to Cleveland, because I wasn't a priority free agent, so I was an undrafted free agent. So I had to make the team. So, and how the NFL works is you get drafted, you're a priority free agent, then you're just a free agent, right? We all know the draft picks, they get their money up front, they get their signing bonuses. Priority free agent, they get a little signing bonus, and undrafted free agent, you're on a tryout.
Right.
So when I get to camp that weekend, I gotta beat out all the guys that they brought in, right? So my mind say, yeah, I'm the best DB here. I'm staying here, right? So I went out there, man, and I ended up doing my thing, man. I actually beat out guys who they had priority free agents over me. All right, so I was there. I made it all the way up until the second to last cuts going into the season that year. And the only reason why I got cut is because of the depth at my position. So we didn't have any vets at my position. So they had Eric Wright. He was a second-year guy. B. Mohad was a second-year guy. Then behind him was a third-year guy. And then we had 3 rookies, right? Me, myself, Milvon, and another cat. And so they cut us to bring in older guys. And that was one of the main reasons why I got cut. The other cat, he did special teams, so he was a returner, so that's what saved him. But I'm like, yo, I can return too.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, man, listen. My best friend was like, you can't make the club. And like, I was on every special teams, man. Like, I was trying to do everything to make the team, right? And I was excelling at it, right? But in the NFL, man, sometimes it's who the coach is like.
Yeah,
right? So
politics.
if the coach doesn't fall in love with you, he's not going to stand on the table and be like, yo, I need that guy.
Yeah,
facts.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to special teams.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, man, I had that stint, man. I loved it. I enjoyed it, man. It was a great experience. Then I went on to play arena football. I was at Spokane Shock. I played there for a minute. I actually played here in Fresno. I actually ended my career here in Fresno. I stopped playing after that, but I was in San Jose too. So I bounced around a little bit, and then I ended my career here in Fresno right before they folded. So,
So from that, get into coaching because you've been out here now for a long time, like
for a
me.
minute.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're Fresno native now.
Man, pretty much. Pretty much.
In August, it made year 17 for me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shit.
That's crazy to say that.
I came out here in 2003. There was one year I wasn't here, and that was when I went to Cleveland, like 2007 or 08, 09. I wasn't here, then I came back.
Man, see, that's
And I've
sad.
been here ever since.
That's crazy.
We here.
Yeah.
We here.
I swear I didn't think I was gonna stay in Fresno. I ain't gonna hold you.
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a little 4 year. I'm back to the city of LA. I'm good.
I knew I wasn't going back.
You weren't going back. You knew you weren't going back to LA.
I wasn't going back. Because in my head, I told myself I can't go back to live with my mom. So if I wasn't going back, knowing I got a job to where I was gonna be able to just really take care of myself, I wasn't going back. And once I was out here and I was able to maintain, and Fresno was a little cheaper and all that, so I ain't going back because there was not a chance in hell I was living back with my mother. I was out.
So you different, man. When I went back, I was happy to live with my mom. I tell people all the time, if my mom was still alive now, I might be living with her right now.
It's less about that I didn't want to live with my mom.
Out here,
yeah, no, it's less about I didn't want to live with her because I love my mom. But it was more about like I felt like it wasn't even that she sent me. When I left, it was like I wanted to leave the nest for show.
Yeah.
And show her that everything she instilled, everything that she did for me, that you sent me to go become a man.
Yeah.
And as a grown ass man, for the most part, it was like, Mom, I feel like, to me, not failing her, but it was like, this is what I wanted for me.
Right.
And so that's just kind of what it was. It wasn't like, because living with my mom, I had to do it after I tore my ACL. I had to go back home for another 6 months.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I mean, but I also realized once I got back home, I'm like,
I want to
miss
be
college.
I miss school.
I miss coming in at 3 in the morning when I heard looking at
I like that. So that freedom of just I can do whatever I want. I ain't got to check in or be respectful, and just be respectful, because I would still respect Mom's house and all that stuff.
100%.
So once I was able to be like, I'm out. I'm out. It wasn't going back. So yeah, man, back to that. So yeah, man, you finished ball, then you move into coaching. How has that journey been from when you started to where, kind of where we are now?
Man, it's been a very involving spirit, experience. So, I mean, I've learned from different people out here. For a while, like, my whole thought process was De La Salle, right? So, but then I started, meeting different coaches, and I started taking things from them that I liked, and I started implementing it to myself, and it's been an amazing journey, man. Like, I love coaching, dude. Like, I love coaching, and because I like working with youth, right? I like speaking in the youth. I like, you see the process, whether there's good kids and there's kids that just need help. Right?
No, that's real. That's
right?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's really all it is when you start really to sit back, and kids don't know how to say they need something.
There it is. That's real.
Right. And I learned that from working in group homes, right? They don't know how to say I need love. They don't know how to say I need guidance. They don't know how to say that, right? So it's up for us, when you are an adult working with kids, you got to pick up on that.
Facts.
Right. And so that's one of the biggest things about, coaching that I love, is that I literally get to make an impact on 50 plus kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean the right way. And it's not necessarily just trying to, I teach my kids not to be the victim. In today's society, a lot of people teach these kids to be victims. It's not, you got to teach these kids how to adjust, right? When things aren't going your way, adjust, right? Don't sit there and be like, poor me. Right,
that's so real,
and that's, you see that a lot of time. But man, like, at the end of the day, man, I just love coaching. I love, possibly making an impact. And I say possibly because you never know what, you're not guaranteed to make an impact on everybody.
Right.
But it's a struggle I have to get through.
Exactly, right. And in my mind, right, I can save everybody, but I may not be able to say exactly, right? Like, I grew up, I wanted to be a head football coach and a motivational speaker and travel the world, right, and speak to kids. But then as I got into the field a little bit, I may say a few words for an hour, then move on to the next place. And that impact may be there for that hour or for a day or two. And that's that.
Yeah.
Right? But we all know consistency is what helps change.
Facts.
I love that.
Right? So when you are consistently speaking life into the same individuals, then they can actually see you, and then you can see them manifest the things that you're speaking about, right? Versus saying, all right, I'm going to drop a few words on you, then I'm gone, right? It's just like being a father. The more consistent, you like consistency in your child's life, right? Being a mom, consistency in your child's life.
That's real.
Consistency is key to success in anything, right? Like, you may not see instant success, but you're going to see success.
He giving y'all some gems, man.
He's giving y'all gems. Hope you paying attention.
Y'all understand the gems y'all getting right now, dog.
So, I mean, for me, like, being a head coach, I'm consistently in my kids' lives every single day, speaking, life into them, good, bad, giving them grace, right? Because we all know, like, grace isn't something that a lot of people give, right? We live in a society that you make a mistake, you're instantly judged off your mistake.
Facts.
Right? Versus giving a person grace and then helping them go through their trials and tribulations, right? Being supportive and not trying to bring them down because you don't like something about them, right? Because a lot of times that people have things about them is things that they've learned. Right? And they haven't been corrected. Right?
That's real.
A lot of times as parents, parents protect their kids for 4 years. So from freshman year to senior year, parents are protecting their kids and being there for them, and then the moment they turn 18, they're like, you're on your own. Yeah. Right. So then now from 18 until they're adults, they're trying to relearn different things. But for the last 4 years, they've had a protector. Right. And I learned later when my mom passed away, she was my protector. Right. And so, that changed my view on things, right? And so I had to put my back on the wall and I started looking at things differently because she was my protector.
Yeah.
Right. And then that opened my eyes up a lot with different things. But for me, it's just speaking life into kids, seeing them grow as young men and young women. Because I don't just work with men, right? Like I work with young ladies on our campus. And the other day I was coaching track and this girl's like, I'm not a sprinter. Like, what you mean you're not a sprinter? She's like, I've never run before. I don't know how to sprint. I said, give 110%. That's what I care about. Stop saying what you can't do. Yeah. Speak in existence what you can do.
Right.
And then you'll be okay with that outcome of I gave 110% versus we all know if you give 50% or 60% to something, you only care that I didn't give it my all.
Yeah.
Come on,
right.
man.
And so it's like
another gym.
If you give
man.
it your all and the result isn't first or second place, I can still live with I gave it my all and I can still build on those different things. So
but you know what I think? I think a lot of people in today's world, we don't like the feeling of failing and losing. So some of us take the easy road and don't give it our all, and we can say, well, it's because I didn't try. It hurts them more when they give 110 or 100% for some people, and they're like, I didn't win, so I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I should do something else. And they don't have that mentality like, okay, you lost this one, don't mean you're going to lose the next one. You teaching yourself habits. You building these habits with consistency. If I continue to give 110, I may lose some, but I'm going to win one of them things.
It's going to show.
You get what I'm saying?
It's going to show. At some point, it's going the fruits of your labor is going to pan out.
Right.
And you just got to continue to do that. It's just, going through that process and understanding that, like, you can't win them all.
Right.
You feel me? It'd be perfect. The perfect world, we all never want to lose.
Right.
But, losing creates a different kind of person in you and creates a winning. Like, losing can create a winning mentality if you accept how to lose the right way. Right. You feel me? And you build upon that. So, but, I had met Dame through different kind of coaching experiences. He's always been a cool dude to me. Do you feel me? And then I had the great opportunity to coach with him 1 year, and that was just so much fun, man. Hanging out with him at Garza that first year, getting that program up and running. I was a wide receiver coach. He was the DC, and it was just an enjoyable experience hanging out with Dame. I got to learn so much because I got to be with the DBs. You feel me? I got to kind of be like one of his assistants to a certain extent and hang out with the DBs and just listen to his football mind and see how he's coaching and see how he talk to kids. We're a lot alike when we were with the kids. You could see like the kids that come to us and talk to us because we was a lot alike in how we approached them, how our conversations was.
100%.
And that was cool. And so then I end up leaving. And when I end up leaving, the news breaks, new head coach, Kermit High School. Oh, so, and then the crazy thing is I go to Matilda Torres, and then Kermit's on the schedule. I said, well, can't get away from the man. I got to see him again. So that was cool. Also, being on the other side and him being a DB guy and then me being a wide receiver coach. And then in my head, the chess that came with that. Like, I know who's on the other side.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when I'm talking to my guys, I'm like, y'all got to be ready because I know those guys.
Right.
I know that position for damn sure going to be ready. You know, so it was cool. So, Coach, talk about your 3 years now, or heading into your third year at Kerman. Year one, you guys had a good run. Year two, you guys made it to Valley, and now year three. What are we expecting out of the mighty Lions in Kerman?
The same as the last 2 years, right? Like,
That's real.
That's real. I love it.
I mean, the standard is a standard, right? Like I tell my kids, if I'm not preaching Valley Championship, State Championship, I'm not doing my job, right? And that's the biggest thing is like just building that culture. I have wonderful kids, right? My success, other than my coaches and other than my administration, have come down to me just having good kids, right? In order for me to be successful, I have to have good kids. Like there's kids that are talented, like they're just gifted, right? Like they just got it. And there's those kids who have to work towards it and who are willing to give it their all and show up every single day and buy in and believe that I'm not here just as a stepping stone, saying, hey, I'm only going to be here just for a year or two, and then I'm out. Then guess what? That they're not going to believe in me, right? But my overall success is the last couple of years have been because we have good freaking kids that buy in.
That's good.
And that want to be a part of what we're doing.
That's
right
good.
Now, we're not perfect, right? As a head coach, I'm not perfect in what, no shape or form, right? but I'm consistent.
There it is.
Right? I show up every single day with my kids. I give them my all. I'm an open book. I'm vulnerable with the kids. They come to me when they're having struggles, and overall, like, they know that I genuinely care, right? And so for me, that's why I say my standard will always be my standard. We have to make it back to the Valley Championship. Yeah, did we lose 19 kids? Yes. But that means that there's 19 kids that can step up and fill the position.
That's the way to look at it.
Like,
Not playing the victim.
Not playing the victim.
Yeah.
Right? We don't, and like I told my coaches, it's going to be fun this year. Right, because now there's certain positions that lack. Now we're going to see how good we are as coaches, right? To where can we bring these kids up to speed?
That's
right,
so
like
good.
So for me, it's just every year is the same mindset. It doesn't matter who walks through the door, right? Like, this is what my mindset is. This is what our goal is, and this is what we are going to do. There is no what if. No, this is what we are going to do, right?
Facts.
And that's the same thing I need my coaches to believe. That's the same thing I need the community to believe. That's the same thing I need the parents at home to believe, is that their kid is capable of being successful, right? Because every kid will have an impact on our program.
Amen.
Right? You're either going to be somebody who speaks life into the program, or you're going to take from the program.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm coaching in a small community in Kerman, and I love the community. Like, they show up and they show out.
There it is.
Right? And I appreciate that a lot. And so for our kids, it's like, hey, we need to give the crowd what they came for.
No, that's 100% real, man. And I get a sense that, like you said, one of your biggest philosophies is consistency and sticking to the standard, right? And being vulnerable at the same time. It's like all healthy balances. And I know we almost close the time, but I want to ask this because, you do a lot of great things. And you could tell your character is amazing in how you embody and pour into kids, and you show that you really care and you really want to be there. Now, let's talk about you being a father, too, at the same time. Like, how do you take some of those principles as a father and you pour into your kids, your own kids?
Oh, man, listen. So I have an 18-year-old and then I have a 13-year-old.
Okay.
My 18-year-old got the immature Damon. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep it 100. Right? You got
he was young.
Yeah, I was young. Right? You got the immature. You got the inexperienced Damon. You got I learned from my dad the negative way how to be a parent. I love my dad, God rest his soul, right? But he wasn't the dad that said, hey, this is how you need to operate as a father, right? I learned through trial and error, right? So my daughter got the inexperienced, the immature, but I was still in her life, right?
Yes.
And what I mean by that is how I chose to communicate in front of my daughter is what hurt my daughter, right? Like, how I chose to communicate with their mom. Me and her mom, we got into disagreements and things of that nature, but I learned I could have communicated a lot better, right?
That's real.
And so, my daughter, love her to death, right? That's my road dog, always be my road dog. She, being in her life every single day, speaking life into her every single day. But as she gets older, she's going to learn to make her own decisions.
Amen.
Right. And that's what she's doing. Like, my daughter is, she's completely different from how me and her mom raised her, but I still love my daughter, and that's my dog, right? Like, that's my dog. And she knows, right? Like, there's things that my daughter knows that I don't agree with, and we talk about it, and she's like, but that's who she is. And I'm going to love her for it, right? I don't agree with some of the things that my daughter does, but I love my daughter to death. And like I told her, I'm always going to have your back. There has never been a point in my daughter's life where she can say, my dad was never there for me. Right now, me and my daughter may disagree on things, right? She may think that I could have done things differently as a parent, and that's okay, right? And I'm okay with that as a father, because I know I'm not perfect. And I know that I'm constantly trying to be a better dad every single day, right? Same thing with my son. My son is in Kerman. So literally every single day we are talking about life, right? Whether it's how dating, whether it's athletic mindset, whether it's academic mindset, whether it's being a friend, whether it's being a good student. We talk about those things every single day. My personal life, or the things that I'm experiencing, I may say, hey, you see the things that I'm dealing with? This is how you need to deal with it. So being a father is extremely important, and it's been so beneficial, and it's been so life-saving for me, right? Because I learn from my kids, and then that way I can deal with the other kids that I deal with in life, right?
That's so good.
And those other kids teach me how to deal with my kids.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a twofold, right?
Yeah.
And I'm learning from them, and they're learning from me. And, you know, so it's just one of those things where, man, being a father is something that I cherish. I mean, I love my dad. My dad was around, but he wasn't there every single day, right? My dad, and here's the thing. I'm at peace with that because I asked my dad why. I said, man, why weren't you around? Well, my dad grew up in Oakland during the 80s where drug dealing and being in the streets was popular, right? All the big time.
That was the thing.
That was the thing. So in his life, he's like, look, your mom got you. I'm finna go run the streets. I can't be mad at that. I may not agree with it, but that is what he chose to do with his life. Right. I had a wonderful mom who held it down. She did it all by herself. Now, could I have used my dad? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I wish my dad was there. But at that time in his life, that's what he chose to do, and I can't be mad at that.
That's real.
Right?
That's
so
real.
for me, just being a dad, man, is something that
Because his son is a man child. And I have never got a chance to read the definition of a man child. His son is that. I'm trying to take, because when I met him 3 years now ago,
he wasn't that big.
he wasn't even that big. He was like, okay. And then now it's like, who the hell is this grown man?
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Yeah,
man.
he's in 8th grade, right?
No, 7th. He's in the 7th grade.
He's
like
only
6'1".
in the 7th, and he is a man. Like, and I'm saying, like, now watching them play, I'm like, that's just not fair. Why is he out there?
Yeah.
Somebody get that grown ass 14-year-old. You know, like, but yeah, but it's, like I said, man, I got a chance, like I said, be around Dame and see how he is, especially with his son. And like I said, just to what you said, man, Dame's character is just great. He's always been a good dude.
Yeah.
He's always been a gracious dude. He's, like you said, he's an open book. We sit there and had conversations at practice, just sitting there just laughing about life and just different things. And so, you know, like, man, he's just one of the most respected dudes that I know in my life, you know, like a 100%. Big bro, like a mentor and stuff like that. And so, you know, we appreciate you and your time today.
Hey, man, thank you for having me up here.
No, for
I
real.
had fun, man.
No, it's great.
Yeah, man.
It was amazing. We definitely got to come out to a game, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
No, and also another accolade. He is coaching the city county game this year as the county head coach.
Yeah.
Where that's going to be at?
Where's
McLean.
It's gonna be McLean.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
we're
gotta
gonna have to slide out there, talk
Gotta
that
go out
talk,
there.
come out
Talk
there,
that talk, do some interviews.
do some interviews, do some
Yeah.
little
Hey,
meetings.
man, come out, man. Listen, come out to practice.
That's gonna be lit.
Come out to practice.
Oh, I like it.
Because their biggest thing, man, is they want to make sure that there's a lot of media presence there. They want to make sure all that type of stuff, man. So, man, y'all more than welcome. Y'all, hey, listen, you guys are always more than welcome to come out to Kermit and sit down and chop it up with our kids.
Yeah. I ain't never been to Kermit. I ain't going to hold
No,
you.
we gotta go.
And it's like, hey,
We
from
can go.
here, it's like 15 minutes, man.
Okay, I
Like,
definitely got to
for
go
the people
now.
out there, Kermit is not 35 or 45 minutes.
It's not
from
that
Fresno.
far. It's not that
It's
far.
not. So when I be like,
It's just a long stretch.
just a long- but
it just sounds far, but it's not that bad.
it's not, man.
It's
Like
not
we're
that bad.
literally like 7 minutes or 8 minutes from Central High School. So
Okay.
for everybody who thinks, oh man, Kermit is far, no.
It's not that far.
pull up
Yeah, we
to
gotta
it.
pull up. Talk to
man.
talk to the kids,
Any
especially
final
during-
words you want to get to the people, you know what I'm saying, before we get up out of here, fam?
Me?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
listen. For first and foremost, man, thank you guys for allowing me to be here, man.
Appreciate you.
I love coming on podcasts. Man, from the intro, you guys had it cracking, man. So, I love that, man. I love the energy, man. And you guys continue to keep doing what you're doing, man, and giving people an opportunity to come speak and speak what they're about and things of that nature, right?
Appreciate that.
To the people out there, man, understand your greatness. I mean, throughout life, man, for me, I'm all about understanding, you know. So you may know the answers to the test, but do you understand the answers to the test, right? I use this analogy all the time, like with the math teacher. The math teacher, you know, gives you an equation and you type it into the calculator. Yeah, it gives you the answer, but it doesn't tell you how to get to the answer, right? So when you break down the equation and you go through it and then you actually break down how you got to the answer, then you understand it, then you can move on to the next thing.
Facts.
Right? So for me, man, understand your greatness, man. Be stingy with your energy and continue just to be a good human being and be a beacon of hope and be that positive light to other people because we're in a day and age where negativity rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But negativity doesn't rule, right? The biggest thing that you can do to people is give grace, be supportive, and have people backs and correct people when they're wrong in
Yeah.
a positive way.
Yeah.
Right? Not talk about them, not bash them because we're human.
Yeah.
Right? And no one's perfect.
Facts.
And when you look in the mirror every single day, challenge yourself to be a better human being.
Facts.
Right? And that's really what it's all about, man.
Shout out to my dog Dave coming in, man.
Mr. Jim. We don't call him Mr. Jim. He's a straight essay full of gems, and y'all better roll some of them things down because they're gonna help you get through life for real.
I'm gonna have to go back and go ahead. I'm gonna play this back in my classroom.
It was some good stuff. No, real talk. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all real talk. It gave y'all some real free gems, stuff that y'all probably could pay for. You got it for free. Only here at Talk That Talk Nation, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all already remember. Have a blessed week, and y'all always remember to talk that talk. We'll see you next time.